Welcome back to the deep dive. Big shout out to the listener who recommended we take a look at Palladyne AI.
Yeah,
It's not every day you find a company making such a dramatic shift.
right.
This one is a real head spinner.
For sure.
Buckle up because we're going deep into their world today.
It's a fascinating case study for sure. Palladyne's transformation is a story of bold decisions, big risks, and a vision for the future that's both exciting and a little bit daunting.
Okay, so let's unpack this.
Sure.
So their story starts with robots, right? They were originally known as Sarcos, a robotics hardware company.
Exactly. Sarcos was no ordinary robotics outfit. They were known for building these incredibly complex mobile robots designed to function in, get this, unstructured environments.
Unstructured environments, so not your typical assembly line robots.
Right. Think more along the lines of robots that can climb mountains, navigate disaster zones, handle unpredictable situations.
Wow.
They were pushing the boundaries of what robots could do physically.
Now that's what I call interesting. But then they did a complete 180, ditching the hardware focus and rebranding themselves as Palladyne AI, a software company.
And that's where things get really fascinating.
Right.
They went from building the robots themselves to focusing on the brains behind the operation, the software, the algorithms, the AI that makes those robots truly intelligent.
And here's where it gets really interesting.
Yeah.
Their main focus now is AI-powered drone software.
Yeah.
And they're already making waves scoring a contract with the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory.
The AFRL contract is a big deal. It's a clear sign that Palladyne's technology is being taken seriously, even in the demanding world of military applications. They're being tasked with developing software that can work with a wider range of AI chips, opening up a whole new realm of possibilities for their technology.
So they're not just building drones, they're building the brains behind the drones.
Right.
And the Air Force sees the potential, especially for tasks that are dangerous or require a level of intelligence that traditional drones just don't have.
Think about it. Drones that can learn in real time, adapt to changing environments, make decisions on the fly, and even coordinate with each other. That's a game changer.
It's like having a mini Air Force of intelligent drones capable of carrying out complex missions with minimal human intervention.
Right.
That sounds a bit sci-fi, doesn't it?
It might sound futuristic, but it's very much a reality Palladyne is building. They have this platform called Palladyne Pilot, which is packed with AI-driven features like dynamic learning and multimodal sensor fusion, which essentially allow these drones to learn from their experiences and make decisions based on data from various sensors.
Okay, hold on. Let's break those terms down a bit for our listeners.
Sure.
Dynamic learning and multimodal sensor fusion. Those sound pretty technical.
They are, but they're also key to understanding what makes Palladyne's technology so unique. Think of multimodal sensor fusion, like giving a drone multiple senses, just like humans have sight, hearing, touch, and so on. The drone can combine information from different sensors, like cameras, thermal imaging, and LiDAR, to create a much more complete picture of its surroundings.
So it's like giving the drone a superpower.
Exactly. Now, dynamic learning takes it a step further. Imagine these drones constantly learning from the data they collect, adapting to new situations, and becoming more intelligent and capable over time. It's like giving them the ability to think on their feet, to make decisions based on the information they're gathering, without needing a human to tell them what to do every step of the way.
Now, all this sounds incredible, but such a major shift from hardware to software can't be easy, right?
You're absolutely right. It's a complex and challenging transition, and it often comes with financial growing pains.
Yeah.
We saw a similar situation with STEM Inc., a company we discussed in a previous deep dive.
Right.
They also moved away from hardware, and it definitely wasn't a smooth ride.
Yeah, that episode was a real eye-opener. Companies pouring their heart and soul into building physical products, then having to shift gears, refocus their expertise, and convince investors that their new direction is the right one.
Yeah, it can be tough.
It's a high-stakes game. So how are Palladyne's financials looking? Are they starting to see a return on their investment in this software-focused future?
Well, let's dive into the numbers. It's important to remember that Palladyne is still in the early stages of this transition. Their financial statements show that they're incurring significant expenses, particularly in research and development, which is to be expected for a company pushing the boundaries of AI.
Makes sense. Developing cutting-edge technology doesn't come cheap.
Right.
They've also had to write down assets and restructure, which points to the complexities of shifting from a hardware-centric business model to a software-centric one.
You've hit the nail on the head. It's like switching from building houses to designing the blueprints for those houses.
Right.
The skill sets, the resources, the entire approach is different.
So a bit of a financial roller coaster.
You could say that. But it's important to remember that this is a long game, and Palladyne's recent contract with the Air Force is a huge win.
Definitely a sign that they're on the right track
Yeah,
and that their technology is being recognized for its potential even in the highly demanding world of military applications.
for sure.
Now, I'm curious, what other partnerships and successes are they racking up?
Well, the Air Force contract is definitely a feather in their cap. It signals that Palladyne is being seen as a key player in the development of AI for drones, and it opens the door to a whole new world of potential customers and applications.
Hmm.
It also hints at a potential shift toward military applications, which is something we'll be watching closely.
It's fascinating how this one contract can have such ripple effects.
Hmm.
It's not just about the money. It's about the validation, the credibility, the connections it brings.
Right.
Now, I know Palladyne's tight-lipped about specific partnerships, but given the nature of their work, it's safe to assume they're collaborating with some big names in the AI chip world.
That's a pretty safe bet. Companies like NVIDIA, Qualcomm, and others involved in AI chip development are all looking for ways to integrate their technology into cutting-edge applications like Palladyne's drone software.
Right.
The potential for partnerships in this space is
It's
huge.
like a perfect storm brewing.
Yeah.
You have Palladyne with their groundbreaking AI software,
Hmm.
you have these chip manufacturers with their powerful hardware, and you have the military with its vast resources and need for advanced technology. It makes you wonder where this could all lead.
It does, doesn't it?
It does.
And Palladyne seems to have a pretty clear vision of where they want to go.
All right, so let's talk about their tech in more detail.
Sure.
We know Palladyne is a company focused on software development, specifically for AI drones. But what exactly are these drones capable of? What sets them apart from the competition?
Their technology, especially the Palladyne Pilot platform, boasts some truly remarkable features.
Okay.
For instance, they have something called dynamic learning and multimodal sensor fusion, which we touched on earlier.
Right, drones with multiple senses like sight and hearing, all feeding information into the AI brain.
Exactly. But it's more than just collecting data. It's about using that data to make intelligent decisions in real time. These drones can learn from their experiences, adapt to changing environments, and even anticipate what's going to happen next.
Drones that can think for themselves. That sounds a bit mind-blowing.
It is, and it's a far cry from the drones we're used to seeing.
Right.
These aren't just remote-controlled toys, they're intelligent machines capable of carrying out complex missions with minimal human intervention.
So they're not just building drones, they're building a future where drones play a much more significant role in our lives.
Exactly.
Now, we talked about their information sharing capabilities earlier, but I'm curious to learn more.
Okay.
How does this system actually work? What kind of information are these drones sharing, and how does it help them achieve their goals?
Imagine a swarm of these drones all working together on a search and rescue mission. They're flying over a disaster zone, scanning for signs of life, but they're not just operating independently. They're constantly communicating with each other, sharing data, and coordinating their actions.
So if one drone spots something, it alerts the rest of the swarm.
Exactly. And not just alerts, but actual data. Imagine one drone picks up a heat signature that could indicate a survivor trapped under rubble.
Yeah.
It shares that data with the rest of the swarm, and those drones can immediately adjust their flight paths to get a closer look, using their cameras, thermal sensors, and other tools to confirm the finding.
It's like having a highly efficient coordinated search team, but in the air.
Right.
And because they're sharing information in real time, they can respond to changing circumstances much faster than a human team on the ground.
Precisely. They can adapt their strategies, adjust their flight paths, and even make decisions about how to best approach a situation, all without needing a human to micromanage every move.
It's clear that Palladyne is pushing the boundaries of AI drone technology.
Hmm.
But what's the driving force behind all of this innovation? What's their ultimate goal?
Well, in an interview with Leading Indicator, Palladyne's CEO made it clear that their focus is on making robots smarter.
Hmm.
They want to create machines that can not only perform tasks, but also learn, adapt, and make intelligent decisions.
So it's not just about building drones, it's about creating a new generation of intelligent machines that can solve complex problems and make our lives easier, safer, and more efficient.
Exactly. And that's a vision that has the potential to transform a wide range of industries.
It's exciting, but also a little bit daunting, isn't it?
It is.
I mean, if machines become this intelligent, what does that mean for the role of humans in the future?
That's a question we'll need to grapple with as this technology continues to advance.
And speaking of grappling, let's talk about Palladyne's financial situation.
Okay.
We've touched on the challenges of shifting from hardware to software, but I'm curious to learn more about their financial performance. What specific numbers are we seeing in their reports?
Well, their financials, specifically their SEC filings, highlight some key areas. For instance, in the 3 months ending September 30th, 2024, they experienced a significant reduction in operating expenses.
Okay, that's a good sign, right? Reduced expenses usually mean improved efficiency.
Generally, yes. Their total operating expenses went down by a whopping 75% compared to the same period in 2023.
Wow, that's a dramatic decrease. What drove that shift?
A number of factors contributed to this reduction. For instance, they had lower labor and material costs associated with their product development contracts, most likely due to changes in the mix of projects they were working on.
So being more strategic with their projects, that makes sense.
Yes. They also saw a substantial decrease in research and development expenses, down by about 74% year over year.
That seems counterintuitive, doesn't it? I mean, they're a tech company. Shouldn't they be investing more in research and development?
Typically, you'd be right. However, in this case, they implemented some strategic cost-cutting measures in 2023. Well, they initiated a series of reductions in force, commonly known as RIFs. Essentially, they downsized their workforce, which unfortunately is a common tactic for companies looking to streamline their operations and reduce costs.
So they made some tough decisions to get their finances in order.
It appears so. And it's worth noting that these decisions have ripple effects throughout the company.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Each move has a cascading effect.
Yeah.
And what about general and administrative expenses? Those are usually a significant part of any business's budget.
You're absolutely right. Their general and administrative expenses also decreased considerably by roughly 48% compared to the same period in the previous year.
So are the RIFs the main factor here as well?
Yes, those workforce reductions played a big role. Reduced labor costs, including things like stock-based compensation, had a direct impact on their general and administrative spending.
It's fascinating to see how these financial decisions ripple throughout the company.
Yeah,
Each move seems to set off a chain reaction.
exactly. It's a complex ecosystem. And speaking of ecosystems, we can't forget about sales and marketing. They're crucial for any company, especially one trying to make a name for itself in a competitive market.
You're spot on. And what's interesting here is that their sales and marketing expenses also went down, albeit by a smaller percentage, about 24% year over year.
They've clearly been streamlining their marketing efforts.
Right.
For example, they scaled back on professional service fees, particularly those related to third-party platforms they were using for data management.
So finding more cost-effective solutions.
Exactly. And they also cut back on events and public relations expenses.
It sounds like they're being much more targeted with their marketing approach, focusing on efficiency rather than broad-based campaigns.
Precisely. They're being more strategic with their spending, which is a sign of a company that's becoming more financially disciplined.
Now, shifting gears a bit, I remember reading about some intriguing financial details related to their transition from Sarcos to Palladyne.
Mm-hmm.
Something about warrants and earnout shares.
Ah, yes. The intricacies of their financial restructuring.
Can you shed some light on that? What exactly happened during that transition?
So when Sarcos became Palladyne, they went through what's called a reverse recapitalization. It's a complex process, but essentially it involved a merger with a special purpose acquisition company, or SPAC for short.
SPACs were all the rage a few years back.
They were, and this particular SPAC was called Rotor Acquisition Corp. As part of this merger, they issued warrants. Think of warrants as a type of option that gives the holder the right to buy shares of the company's stock at a specific price in the future.
Okay, so sort of like a bet on the company's future success.
Exactly. They also had something called earnout shares, which are shares that are issued based on the company meeting certain performance targets.
Interesting. So incentives to drive growth and profitability.
Precisely. These financial instruments were key elements of the transition, and understanding them gives us a clearer picture of Palladyne's current financial standing.
It always amazes me how these financial maneuvers can shape a company's trajectory.
Yeah.
It's like a game of chess with each move having long-term consequences. Now I'm curious to know more about Palladyne's long-term vision. Where do they see themselves going in the future? What's their grand plan?
Well, they believe they are at the forefront of what they call the fourth industrial revolution.
The fourth industrial revolution. What exactly does that entail?
Yeah.
I'm picturing robots running the world.
It's not quite that dramatic, but it is about a fundamental shift in the way we work and live. Think artificial intelligence, robotics, the Internet of Things, all coming together to transform industries, blurring the lines between the physical, digital, and biological worlds.
Okay, so it's about the convergence of all these powerful technologies and their
Mm.
impact on society.
Right.
And Palladyne sees themselves playing a central role in this revolution.
Absolutely. They believe their robots, particularly their AI-powered drones, have the potential to revolutionize the way we work, the way we live, and the way we interact with the world around us.
Okay, paint me a picture. What does that future look like?
Yeah.
Are we talking flying cars and robot butlers?
Maybe not flying cars just yet, but imagine a world where robots handle dangerous or repetitive tasks, allowing humans to focus on more creative and fulfilling work.
So robots as partners, not replacements.
Right. Exactly. Their goal is to enhance human capabilities, not replace them. It's about freeing us from the mundane and dangerous so we can focus on what makes us uniquely human.
Hmm.
Our creativity, our problem-solving skills, our ability to connect with each other on a deeper level.
That's a reassuring thought, though it also raises a lot of questions about the future of work and society as a whole. If robots are handling all the heavy lifting, what does that mean for our jobs? Our
Yeah,
sense of purpose, our place in the world?
those are big questions and there are no easy answers. Looking at their financial statements, we can see how these revenue streams have evolved over time. For the 9 months ending September 30th, 2024, their total revenue is relatively modest.
Good.
But there's an interesting story hidden within those figures.
I'm intrigued. Tell me more. What's the story behind the numbers?
Well, their product development contract revenue actually decreased compared to the same period in 2023.
Interesting. So less money coming in from those government contracts.
No.
Is that a cause for concern?
Not necessarily. That decrease was partly offset by an increase in product revenue.
Ah, so they're starting to see more success in selling their software. It sounds like their shift towards a software-focused approach is starting to pay off.
Precisely. It's a sign that their strategy is gaining traction.
Right.
They're building a reputation as a leading provider of AI-powered drone software, and that's attracting new customers and generating revenue.
It's a reminder that these transitions take time.
Yeah,
And Palladyne seems to be navigating this one with a mix of patience and determination.
right.
They're not afraid to make tough decisions,
Right.
but they're also staying focused on their long-term vision.
Agreed. And it's also worth noting that their product development contracts are often lumpy.
Lumpy. What do you mean by that?
It means that the timing and size of those contracts can vary significantly. One quarter they might secure a major contract, while the next quarter might be relatively quiet. It depends on the specific projects, the funding cycles, and the priorities of their government clients.
So their revenue from those contracts can fluctuate quite a bit, making it harder to predict their financial performance with certainty.
Exactly. It's the nature of the government contracting business.
Right.
It's a high-stakes game with big rewards, but also inherent uncertainty. And that's why it's smart for Palladyne to diversify their revenue streams by focusing on product sales as well.
It's all about spreading the risk and creating a more sustainable business model. Don't put all your eggs in one basket, as they say.
Precisely. Now, there's another interesting detail in their financials that I want to point out.
Okay.
Their other income, which includes things like interest income and gains on warrant liabilities, decreased significantly in 2024 compared to the previous year.
So less money coming in from those sources?
Yeah.
What's driving that decrease?
It's mainly attributed to fluctuations in the value of their warrant liabilities.
Warrants. Those sound
Yep.
familiar. We talked about those earlier, right?
Yeah,
They were part of the financial restructuring when Sarkos became Palladyne.
exactly. Remember, those warrants are essentially options to buy shares of the company's stock at a specific price in the future.
Right, like a bet on the company's future success. So if the company's stock price goes up, the value of those warrants increases.
Precisely. And conversely, if the stock price drops, the value of the warrants decreases.
So their decrease in other income is basically reflecting the ups and downs of the stock market.
You got it. It's a reminder that even a company as innovative and forward-thinking as Palladyne is still subject to the whims of the market. Their financial performance can be influenced by factors outside of their control.
It's a humbling thought. No matter how brilliant your technology, you're still at the mercy of those unpredictable market forces. But it's also a testament to Palladyne's resilience. They've weathered financial storms before, and they're clearly determined to do so again, all while pursuing their ambitious goals.
I agree. They have a clear vision, a talented team, and a technology that's attracting attention from major players like the U.S. Air Force. It'll be interesting to see how they navigate the challenges and capitalize on the opportunities that lie ahead.
Now let's turn our attention to a crucial aspect of any company's success. Its leadership. Who are the key figures driving Palladyne's vision, and what insights can we glean from their backgrounds and experiences?
Well, at the helm of Palladyne is their CEO.
Okay.
Unfortunately, his name wasn't explicitly mentioned in the sources we have.
Right.
It seems they're keeping a low profile for now.
The elusive CEO. A man of mystery.
Indeed. But even without a name, we can still gain valuable insights from his statements and the company's overall direction.
Okay.
Right.
What stands out to you about his leadership style?
Well, from his interview with Leading Indicator, he comes across as a visionary leader, someone who's not afraid to think big and challenge conventional wisdom. He painted a compelling picture of the future one, where humans and robots collaborate seamlessly, enhancing our capabilities and creating a world where technology serves humanity.
It's a bold vision, for sure.
Uh,
But it takes more than just a vision to build a successful company.
right.
What else can we gather about his leadership approach? Is he all talk, or does he have the substance to back it up?
From what we can see, he's definitely not all talk. He's also a pragmatist, someone who understands the complexities of the market and the need for strategic partnerships to achieve his goals. The contract with the U.S. Air Force is a testament to that.
It's a smart move. Partnering with a powerful organization like the Air Force not only brings in funding, but also lends credibility and opens doors to new opportunities. It signals that Palladyne is serious about making its technology applicable to a wide range of sectors, not just commercial applications.
Precisely. It's a sign of a leader who's thinking strategically, who's building relationships, and who's positioning his company for long-term success.
So a leader with a broad vision and a pragmatic approach to achieving it sounds like a winning combination.
Right.
Now, behind every great leader is a strong team. What can we tell about the people surrounding the CEO, the ones helping him steer the ship? Are they up to the task?
Unfortunately, the sources don't provide specific details about other executives or key personnel.
Right.
It seems they're keeping their cards close to their chest for now. However, we can infer some things based on Palladyne's actions and overall direction.
Okay, let's play detective.
Hmm.
What clues can we gather?
Sure.
What kind of team does it take to pull off a transformation like this?
Well, their focus on securing a contract with the U.S. Air Force suggests that they have a strong engineering team, people with deep expertise in AI robotics and drone technology.
Okay,
You don't win a deal like that without some serious technical chops.
makes sense. You need people who can build the robots, write the code, and make the AI work. But it's not just about technical skills, is it?
Absolutely not. Their ability to pivot from hardware to software suggests that they have adaptable and creative minds on their team, people who can think outside the box and embrace new challenges. It's one thing to build a robot, it's another thing to reimagine your entire business model and build a software platform that's truly groundbreaking.
So not just engineers, but also visionaries, strategists, and problem solvers.
Precisely. And they've also demonstrated a keen understanding of the financial markets, navigating complex transactions like that reverse recapitalization we discussed earlier. It takes some sharp financial minds to pull off a maneuver like that.
So they have the tech talent, the strategic thinkers, and the financial wizards. Sounds like they've assembled a pretty impressive team.
It does. And while we don't have all the names and faces, it's clear that they have a group of dedicated individuals working behind the scenes to make their vision a reality.
It's a reminder that innovation is rarely a solo act. It takes a collective effort, a team of passionate individuals working together towards a common goal, each bringing their unique skills and perspectives to the table.
Absolutely. Now, we've talked about the company, their technology, their financials, and their leadership, but I think it's important to step back for a moment and consider the broader context.
Okay, zoom out for us. What's the bigger picture here?
Well, Palladyne is operating at the intersection of several major technological trends: artificial intelligence, robotics, and the increasing autonomy of systems.
Okay.
These are trends that are rapidly transforming our world, changing the way we work, the way we live, and the way we interact with each other.
It's a time of unprecedented technological change, and it's both exciting and a little bit scary. And Palladyne is right in the thick of it, not just riding these waves, but actively shaping them.
Precisely. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, and that raises all sorts of questions about the future of work, the role of technology in our lives, and the very nature of what it means to be human in a world where machines are becoming increasingly intelligent.
Big questions, questions that we don't have all the answers to. But it's important to at least start asking those questions, to be aware of the potential implications of these technologies as they continue to evolve.
I agree. We can't just bury our heads in the sand and pretend these changes aren't happening. We need to be informed, thoughtful, and engaged.
Absolutely. Now, you mentioned the increasing autonomy of systems.
Yeah.
What does that mean, and how does it relate to Palladyne's work?
Autonomy in this context refers to the ability of machines to operate independently without direct human control. It's about creating systems that can make decisions, adapt to changing circumstances, and even learn from their experiences, all without needing a human to guide them every step of the way.
So we're talking about machines that can think for themselves.
In a way, yes. And Palladyne's AI-powered drones are a prime example of this trend towards autonomy. They're designed to operate with minimal human intervention, making decisions based on the data they collect and the algorithms they've been trained on.
It's both fascinating and a little bit unsettling, isn't it? To think that we're creating machines that can make decisions that could potentially have a significant impact on our lives.
It is, and it's why it's so important to have conversations about the ethical implications of AI to ensure that we're developing these technologies responsibly and that we're putting safeguards in place to prevent unintended consequences.
Absolutely. Now, another aspect of the broader context you mentioned is the increasing role of government in funding and supporting AI research and development.
That's right. Governments around the world are recognizing the strategic importance of AI, seeing it as a key driver of economic growth, national security, and even social progress.
And Palladyne's contract with the U.S. Air Force is a perfect example of this trend.
It is. It highlights the government's interest in harnessing the power of AI for both military and civilian applications.
It's interesting to think about how these investments in AI, often driven by national security concerns, can have a ripple effect leading to advancements that benefit society as a whole.
Absolutely. It's a reminder that innovation doesn't happen in a vacuum. It's influenced by a complex interplay of factors, including government funding, private investment, academic research, and even geopolitical competition.
It's all connected, isn't it? The decisions we make today about the development and deployment of AI will have profound implications for the future.
They will. And that's why it's so important to be informed, to engage in these conversations, and to think critically about the choices we're making.
Now let's zoom back in for a moment and consider one of the key questions we often grapple with in this podcast. Why should we care? What makes Palladyne's story relevant to our listeners? What's the takeaway here?
That's a great question. It's easy to get caught up in the technical details or the financial numbers, but ultimately we want to understand how these technologies impact our lives, our work, and our future. And Palladyne's story is a microcosm of the larger AI revolution that's unfolding all around us.
So their journey is a reflection of the larger journey that we as a society are embarking on.
Exactly. They're grappling with the same challenges, navigating the same uncertainties, and wrestling with the same ethical dilemmas that we all face as AI becomes an increasingly powerful force in our lives.
It's a reminder that we're all in this together, that the decisions we make today about the development and deployment of AI will shape the world we live in tomorrow.
Absolutely. And while there are certainly risks and challenges associated with AI, there are also incredible opportunities. Palladyne's vision of a future where humans and robots collaborate to solve complex problems, improve our lives, and create a more just and sustainable world is a vision that's worth striving for.
It's a vision that inspires hope, even amidst the uncertainty and complexity of this technological revolution.
It is. And it's a vision that reminds us that we as humans have the power to shape the future of AI, to ensure that it serves humanity and that it leads us towards a better world.
Now let's switch gears for a moment and delve into a fascinating aspect of Palladyne's technology, their intelligent coordination and information sharing system for drones.
This is where their AI expertise really shines. They're taking the concept of drone swarms to a whole new level, creating a system where drones can communicate with each other, share data, and coordinate their actions with a level of intelligence and autonomy that we haven't seen before.
It's like they're creating a superorganism,
Right.
a hive mind of drones that can operate with a level of coordination and precision that's almost unimaginable.
Exactly. And it's all made possible by their sophisticated AI algorithms, which allow the drones to process vast amounts of data, make decisions in real time, and adapt to changing circumstances without needing constant human intervention.
Okay, I'm picturing a swarm of drones all working together on a complex mission, like searching for survivors in a disaster zone, inspecting a bridge for structural damage, or monitoring a wildfire.
Okay.
How does this intelligent coordination system actually work in practice?
Imagine a search and rescue mission in a disaster area. A swarm of drones equipped with cameras, thermal sensors, and other tools could be deployed to search for survivors.
So they're covering more ground scanning for signs of life, but how does the intelligent coordination system come into play?
Well, as the drones fly over the area, they're constantly collecting data. Images, thermal readings, even audio signals.
So there's a flood of information pouring in from all these different sources.
Right.
How do they make sense of it all?
That's where the AI comes in. The system analyzes the data from all the drones, looking for patterns, anomalies, or anything that might indicate the presence of a survivor.
Okay.
For example, if one drone detects a heat signature that could indicate a person trapped under rubble, it immediately shares that information with the rest of the swarm.
So it's not just a matter of one drone finding something and then alerting a human operator.
Right.
The drones themselves are analyzing the data, making decisions, and coordinating their actions.
Exactly. The system can prioritize those areas, directing more drones to investigate, while others continue to search other parts of the disaster zone. They're working together as a team, sharing information and making decisions in real time to maximize their effectiveness.
It's like having a highly efficient, coordinated search team, but in the air, able to cover vast areas quickly and efficiently.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And because the drones are sharing information in real time, they can adapt to changing circumstances quickly.
So if one drone encounters an obstacle, it can alert the others, and they can reroute their flight paths accordingly. They're constantly learning and adapting, becoming more efficient and effective as they go.
Exactly. This flexibility and adaptability are crucial in dynamic environments where things can change rapidly.
It's a remarkable system. And it's not just limited to search and rescue, right?
Absolutely not. The applications are vast.
Okay.
Imagine using the system for infrastructure inspection, monitoring pipelines or power lines for damage.
Okay.
The drones could fly along these structures collecting data, and the system would analyze that data to identify potential problems such as cracks, corrosion, or vegetation encroachment.
So they're not just replacing human inspectors, they're augmenting their capabilities,
Yeah,
making inspections more thorough, more efficient, and safer.
exactly. Or imagine using it for precision agriculture, monitoring crops for signs of disease or stress, and even applying fertilizers or pesticides with pinpoint accuracy.
So we're talking about more efficient farming, less waste, and higher yields, all thanks to AI-powered drone swarms.
Precisely. Or imagine using this system for environmental monitoring, tracking deforestation, monitoring wildlife populations, or even mapping ocean currents.
So drones as guardians of the planet, helping us understand and protect our environment. It's amazing to think about the possibilities.
It is. And it's all thanks to Palladyne's groundbreaking work in AI-powered drone coordination and information sharing. They're not just building drones, they're building a future where drones play a vital role in solving some of the world's most pressing problems.
It's a testament to their vision and their commitment to pushing the boundaries of what's possible. Now let's shift gears for a moment and delve into another fascinating aspect of Palladyne's technology, their dynamic learning and multimodal sensor fusion capabilities.
These capabilities are at the heart of what makes Palladyne's drones so intelligent and adaptable. They're not just following pre-programmed instructions, they're learning from their experiences, adapting to new situations, and making decisions based on the data they collect.
Okay, break that down for us. What do those terms mean and why should we care?
Well, at its core, this technology is all about enabling drones to learn and adapt in real time, making them more intelligent and capable than ever before.
So we're talking about drones that can think on their feet.
You could say that. Now let's start with multimodal sensor fusion. This refers to the ability of a drone to combine data from multiple sensors to create a more complete picture of its surroundings.
Okay, so a drone might have a camera, a thermal sensor, a LiDAR sensor, all feeding information into the system.
Precisely. And by combining that data, the drone can get a much richer understanding of its environment than if it were relying on just one sensor alone.
So it's like giving the drone multiple senses, just like humans have sight, hearing, touch, and so on.
Exactly. And just as our brains combine those senses to create a cohesive perception of the world, Palladyne's technology allows drones to fuse data from multiple sensors to build a more complete picture of their surroundings.
That makes sense. But what about the dynamic learning part? How do these drones actually learn?
Well, that's where AI comes into play. Palladyne has developed sophisticated algorithms that allow drones to analyze the data they collect, identify patterns, and make predictions based on those patterns.
So the more data the drone collects, the smarter it gets.
Exactly. It's like a child learning about the world through experience. The drone encounters new situations, gathers information, and updates its understanding based on that information. It's a continuous learning process, and it's what makes these drones so adaptable and intelligent.
Fascinating. But how does this learning process actually happen? Is there a human in the loop teaching the drone?
Not necessarily. Palladyne's technology allows for both supervised and unsupervised learning.
Okay, so break those terms down for us. What's the difference between supervised and unsupervised learning?
Well, in supervised learning, the drone is given a set of labeled data, essentially examples of what it should be looking for.
So if you want the drone to identify different types of trees, you show it pictures of those trees and label them accordingly.
Precisely. And the drone uses that labeled data to train its algorithms, learning to recognize those patterns in new data it
So it's
collects.
like a teacher showing a student flashcards.
Exactly. But in unsupervised learning, the drone is given unlabeled data, and it's up to the drone to figure out the patterns on its own.
So no flashcards, just a jumble of information, and the drone has to make sense of it. That sounds pretty challenging.
It is, but it's also incredibly powerful. Unsupervised learning allows drones to discover patterns that humans might not even be aware of. It allows them to make connections and draw insights that we might miss simply because we're not looking for them.
So the drones are teaching us something new.
They can, and that's one of the most exciting aspects of AI. It has the potential to uncover hidden insights, make unexpected connections, and push the boundaries of human knowledge.
Now, all of this sounds incredibly complex.
Yeah.
But what does it actually mean for the real world? How do these dynamic learning and sensor fusion capabilities translate into tangible benefits?
Well, for starters, it means that drones can become more autonomous and reliable, able to operate with less human intervention and make decisions based on the data they collect.
Okay, explain that further. What does it mean for a drone to be more autonomous?
It means that the drone can operate with less human intervention, making decisions on its own based on the data it collects and the patterns it learns.
So less reliance on a human operator to control the drone's every move.
Precisely. And that's crucial for a wide range of applications, especially those involving dangerous or difficult to reach environments.
Can you give us some examples?
Sure, imagine a drone inspecting a bridge for structural damage. With dynamic learning and sensor fusion, the drone can not only identify potential problems, but also adjust its flight path to get a closer look, all without human intervention.
So a more efficient and thorough inspection, reducing the risk to human inspectors and potentially saving lives.
Exactly. Or imagine a drone monitoring a wildfire. It can analyze the spread of the fire, predict its path, and even identify safe evacuation routes for firefighters.
So a drone is a firefighter's guardian angel, providing critical information and helping to keep them safe.
Precisely. And because these drones are constantly learning and adapting, they become more reliable over time, making fewer mistakes and requiring less human oversight.
It's a remarkable example of how AI is transforming the capabilities of drones, making them more intelligent, more adaptable, and ultimately more valuable tools for a wide range of applications.
Absolutely. Now let's step back for a moment and consider the broader implications of Palladyne's work.
Okay, zoom out for us. What's the bigger picture here? What does Palladyne's story tell us about the future of AI and robotics?
Well, for starters, it highlights the increasing convergence of these two fields. AI and robotics, once separate disciplines, are now becoming intertwined, creating a synergy that's leading to a whole new generation of intelligent machines.
So AI is providing the brains behind the robots, enabling them to perceive, learn, and act with increasing autonomy.
Exactly. And this convergence is leading to a whole new generation of robots capable of performing tasks that were once thought to be exclusive to humans.
So robots that can think, learn, and even make decisions on their own. It's both exciting and a little bit scary.
It is. And it raises all sorts of fascinating and sometimes unsettling questions about the future of work, the ethical implications of AI, and the relationship between humans and machines.
Big questions. Questions that we're only beginning to grapple with.
Exactly. And while we don't have all the answers, I think it's important to engage in these conversations to explore the potential benefits and risks of these technologies as they continue to evolve.
Absolutely. We can't just ignore these advancements or pretend they won't impact our lives. We need to be informed, thoughtful, and proactive in shaping the future we want.
Agreed. And that brings us to another key takeaway from Palladyne's story. The increasing importance of adaptability and agility in a world that's changing at an unprecedented pace.
Okay, connect that to the bigger picture.
Okay.
Why are adaptability and agility so crucial in the world of AI and robotics?
Well, for starters, these are fields that are evolving at an incredibly rapid pace. What's cutting edge today might be obsolete tomorrow. New technologies are constantly emerging, new breakthroughs are being made, and the competition is relentless.
So companies need to be able to move quickly. embrace new technologies, and adjust their strategies accordingly.
Hmm.
They can't afford to be complacent or stuck in their old ways.
Precisely. And that's something that Palladyne has demonstrated time and again.
Right, they were a hardware company, then they pivoted to software. Now they're at the forefront of AI-powered drones.
Yeah,
They seem to be constantly evolving, adapting to the changing landscape, and anticipating what's coming next.
exactly. And that ability to adapt is what will allow them to thrive in this ever-changing landscape. It's a lesson for all of us, really. In a world of rapid technological change, the ability to learn, adapt, and embrace new challenges is more important than ever before.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now let's turn our attention to a specific challenge that Palladyne has highlighted in their SEC filings, the competitive landscape.
This is a critical aspect of their story. They're not operating in a vacuum. They're in a race against other companies, all vying for dominance in the AI and robotics space.
Okay, let's talk about the rivals. Who are the other players in this game, and what threats do they pose to Palladyne's success?
Well, as we mentioned earlier, Palladyne is operating in a red-hot market with numerous companies vying for dominance in the AI and robotics space.
So it's a crowded field.
It is.
A lot of companies chasing the same dream.
It is. And they've specifically mentioned companies like Covariant Dexterity and Formic as direct or indirect competitors.
Those are all companies pushing the boundaries of AI and robotics in their own right.
Yeah.
What makes them formidable opponents? What are their strengths?
Well, for starters, they have significant financial resources, often backed by venture capital firms or large corporations.
So deep pockets to fund research and development, acquire talent, and expand their operations. It's a game that requires a lot of capital.
Exactly. And they also have strong technical teams, often led by experts in AI robotics and related fields.
So a battle of the brains, a race to see who can develop the most innovative technologies.
You could say that these companies are constantly innovating, developing new technologies, and filing patents to protect their intellectual property.
So Palladyne needs to stay on its toes, constantly pushing the envelope to stay ahead of the pack.
Absolutely. And it's not just about staying ahead in terms of technology. It's also about winning over customers, building relationships, and establishing a strong market presence.
So building a brand, forging partnerships, and demonstrating the value of their technology in real-world applications.
Precisely. And that's where Palladyne's strategic focus on partnering with organizations like the U.S. Air Force comes into play.
It's a smart move. Not only does it provide funding and credibility, but it also gives them access to a vast network of potential customers and collaborators.
Exactly. It's a strategic advantage that they're leveraging to differentiate themselves in a crowded and competitive market.
It's a reminder that in the world of business, it's not always just about having the best technology. It's also about having the right partnerships, the right strategy, and the right team to execute that strategy.
Couldn't have said it better myself.
Now let's turn our attention to a crucial aspect of Palladyne's business, their intellectual property. We touched on this earlier, but I'm curious to learn more about the specific steps they're taking to protect their innovations.
This is a critical area for any tech company, especially one operating in a field as competitive as AI and robotics.
Absolutely. Their algorithms, their software, their designs, these are all valuable assets that need to be safeguarded.
Right.
If they lose control of their intellectual property, they lose control of their future.
Precisely. And Palladyne is well aware of that. They've highlighted the importance of intellectual property protection in their SEC filings, outlining the various strategies they're employing to defend their innovations.
So give us a rundown. What are they doing to protect their IP?
Okay.
What steps are they taking to ensure that their innovations remain their own?
Well, for starters, they're aggressively pursuing patents.
Patents. Those legal documents that grant exclusive rights to an invention, preventing others from copying or using it without permission.
Exactly. And they're seeking patents for a wide range of their technologies, from their core AI algorithms to specific features of their drone software.
So building a legal wall around their innovations, ensuring that they reap the rewards of their hard work and investment.
You could say that patents are a powerful tool for preventing competitors from copying or using their technology without permission.
It's a way of saying, we invented this, it's ours, and if you want to use it, you have to pay us.
Exactly. But patents are just one piece of the puzzle. They're also actively protecting their trade secrets.
Trade secrets, those confidential pieces of information that give a company a competitive edge,
Right.
the secret sauce, so to speak.
Exactly. And Palladyne has a lot of trade secrets. Their source code, their design specifications, their testing data, even their internal processes for developing AI algorithms.
So a whole treasure trove of confidential information, the crown jewels of their business.
You could say that. And they're taking steps to keep that information under wraps using non-disclosure agreements, access controls, and other security measures to prevent unauthorized disclosure.
So a multi-layered approach to IP protection, using both legal and practical measures to safeguard their innovations. It's like they're building a vault to protect their most valuable assets.
It's essential for their survival in such a competitive market. And it's not just about protecting what they've already created. They're also thinking about the future, constantly innovating and developing new technologies, which means they need to constantly be thinking about how to protect those new innovations as well.
So it's a never-ending race to stay ahead of the curve to keep inventing and protecting those inventions.
It is. And it's a race that Palladyne seems determined to win.
It's a reminder that in the world of technology, intellectual property is a company's most valuable asset,
Yeah.
and protecting that asset is crucial for long-term success.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now let's switch gears for a moment and consider a topic that often sparks debate: the role of government in the development of AI and robotics.
Okay, let's wade into those waters. What's the appropriate level of government involvement in these fields, and what are the potential benefits and risks? It's a tricky question, and one that often generates strong opinions.
It is. It's a complex issue with no easy answers. But it's clear that governments around the world are recognizing the strategic importance of AI and robotics, seeing them as key drivers of economic growth, national security, and social progress.
So governments are investing heavily in research and development, providing grants, establishing research centers, even creating national AI strategies. They see AI as a game changer, a technology that has the potential to reshape the world.
Precisely. And there are compelling reasons for this increased involvement. AI and robotics have the potential to transform industries, create new jobs, improve healthcare, address climate change, and even enhance our national security.
So governments see these technologies as key drivers of progress and prosperity, and they're eager to support their development. Make sense?
Yeah.
But what are the potential risks of government involvement? Some people worry about government overreach, stifling innovation, picking winners and losers, or even using these technologies for nefarious purposes.
Those are valid concerns, and it's important to strike a balance. Governments can play a vital role in fostering innovation by providing funding, setting standards, and creating a supportive regulatory environment. But they also need to avoid excessive regulation or control that could stifle creativity, entrepreneurship, and the free market.
So a delicate balancing act trying to foster innovation while also protecting the public interest.
It is, and it's a debate that's happening in countries around the world.
It's a reminder that technology is not just a neutral tool. It's shaped by political forces, economic interests, and societal values. And the way we choose to govern AI will have a profound impact on the future.
Absolutely. And understanding these broader forces helps us make sense of Palladyne's journey and the challenges and opportunities they face. They're operating in a complex ecosystem, and their success will depend not only on their technological prowess, but also on their ability to navigate these political and societal forces.
It's like a game of chess, but with much higher stakes.
Exactly. Now let's shift our focus to a specific example of government involvement in AI: Palladyne's contract with the U.S. Air Force Research Laboratory.
Okay, let's revisit that deal. What insights can we glean from this partnership about the government's role in shaping the development of AI-powered drones?
It highlights the military's growing interest in these technologies.
Right.
Drones are already playing a significant role in modern warfare, used for surveillance, reconnaissance, and even targeted strikes. But AI has the potential to make them even more powerful, more autonomous, and more versatile.
So the Air Force sees the potential of AI-powered drones to revolutionize warfare, giving them a strategic advantage on the battlefield. But it's not just about military applications, is it?
No, not at all. The technologies being developed under this contract could also have civilian uses in areas like search and rescue, infrastructure inspection, disaster response, environmental monitoring, and even package delivery.
So there's a potential spillover effect where military investments in AI can lead to advancements that benefit society as a whole. It's like a technological trickle-down effect.
Precisely. It's a reminder that the lines between military and civilian technologies are often blurred, and innovations in one area can often have applications in others. And it's also a reminder that the development of AI is not just a matter of technological progress, it's also a matter of national security and geopolitical competition.
It's a high-stakes game, and the players aren't just companies, they're governments vying for dominance in this emerging technological landscape.
Exactly. And that brings us to another key takeaway from this contract: the importance of ethical considerations.
Okay, let's talk about the ethics. What concerns arise when we consider the military's use of AI-powered drones?
Well, one of the biggest concerns is the question of autonomy.
Right.
How much decision-making power should we give to these machines? Should we allow them to make life or death decisions on the battlefield without human intervention?
That's a question that's been debated fiercely,
Hmm.
and there's no easy answer. It's a question that goes to the heart of our values and our understanding of the role of humans in warfare.
It does, and it's not just about battlefield decisions.
Right.
There are also concerns about surveillance, privacy, and the potential for misuse of these technologies.
So drones spying on citizens, collecting data without consent, or even being used for targeted assassinations.
Right.
These are scenarios that we've seen in science fiction movies,
Yeah,
but they're becoming increasingly plausible in the real world.
they are. And it's why it's so important to have these conversations now before these technologies become so advanced that we lose control of them.
We need to establish ethical guidelines, implement safeguards, and ensure that these technologies are used responsibly in ways that align with our values and protect human rights.
Absolutely. We can't just assume that technological progress is always a good thing. We need to be thoughtful, deliberate, and proactive in shaping the future. We want a future where AI serves humanity, not the other way around.
Now let's shift gears for a moment and consider a topic that often gets overlooked in discussions of AI and robotics: the role of creativity.
Okay.
We tend to think of these fields as being purely technical, all about algorithms and engineering.
Right.
But is there a place for human creativity in a world of robots and AI?
Absolutely. Creativity is essential for driving innovation in these fields.
Okay.
It's what allows us to imagine new possibilities, to come up with novel solutions to problems, and to push the boundaries of what's considered feasible.
Okay, make the case for creativity. Why is it so important in a world of robots and algorithms?
Well, for starters, creativity is what allows us to go beyond simply mimicking human behavior and to create something truly innovative and groundbreaking. It's what allows us to think outside the box, challenge assumptions, and come up with solutions that no one has thought of before.
Can you give us some examples? How does creativity manifest itself in the development of AI and robotics?
Sure, imagine a team of engineers trying to design a robot that can navigate complex terrain. They need to think creatively about locomotion sensing and decision making. They can't just replicate human movement. They need to come up with entirely new ways for robots to move and interact with their surroundings.
So they're drawing inspiration from nature, from biology, from other fields,
Right.
and combining those ideas in new and unexpected ways to create something truly unique. It's like a form of technological art.
Exactly. Or imagine a team of AI researchers developing algorithms for a self-driving car.
Oh.
They need to be creative in how they approach perception, navigation, and decision making. They can't just replicate human driving behavior. They need to come up with entirely new ways for machines to perceive and navigate the world.
So they're not just programmers. They're inventors, artists, and visionaries pushing the boundaries of what's possible with AI.
Precisely. And Palladyne is a great example of a company that embraces creativity. Their work on AI-powered drones is not just about replicating existing technologies, it's about reimagining what's possible, coming up with new solutions to old problems, and creating a future where drones play a more integral role in our lives.
Now let's consider a specific challenge that Palladyne and indeed the entire AI industry faces: the need for explainability.
This is a crucial issue. As AI systems become more sophisticated, they also become more complex and opaque. It's getting harder to understand how these systems actually work, how they arrive at their decisions, and whether those decisions are fair and
So
unbiased.
it's like a black box.
Yeah,
We put data in, we get results out, but we don't really know what's happening in between.
right.
And that can be problematic, especially when these systems are making decisions that impact human lives.
Exactly. Imagine an AI system being used to make loan decisions at a bank.
Okay.
The system analyzes an applicant's financial history, credit score, and other data to determine whether they qualify for a loan. But what if the system denies someone a loan and it doesn't provide any explanation for that decision?
That would be frustrating and unfair. The applicant is left in the dark, not knowing why they were rejected, and they have no way to appeal the decision or understand what they might need to do to improve their chances in the future.
Precisely. And it raises concerns about potential biases in the system. What if the system is basing its decisions on factors that are discriminatory, even if those biases are unintentional?
That's a real concern. We've already seen examples of AI systems perpetuating existing biases, leading to unfair outcomes for certain groups of people.
Exactly. That's why explainability is so important. We need to be able to understand how these systems work, what factors they're considering, and whether those factors are fair and unbiased.
So it's about ensuring that AI systems are not only intelligent, but also transparent and accountable.
Precisely. And that's a challenge that the entire AI industry is grappling with, not just Palladyne.
It's a reminder that as we develop these powerful technologies, we also need to develop the tools and frameworks to ensure that they're used ethically and responsibly.
Couldn't have said it better myself. Now let's shift our focus to a topic that's often at the forefront of discussions about AI, the potential for job displacement.
Okay, let's talk about the robots and the jobs. It's a question that's been debated for decades, and it's one that Palladyne's technology inevitably raises. Their AI-powered drones have the potential to automate a wide range of tasks, which could lead to job losses in certain sectors.
It's a valid concern,
Yeah.
but it's important to remember that Palladyne has repeatedly emphasized that their goal is not to replace humans, but to augment their abilities.
Right.
They believe that their technology can make our jobs safer, more efficient, and more fulfilling.
So robots as partners, not competitors. They're tools that can help us do our jobs, better not replace us altogether.
Exactly. And there are certainly examples of that happening in various industries. For instance, in manufacturing, robots are often used to handle repetitive or dangerous tasks, freeing up human workers to focus on more specialized work that requires creativity, problem-solving skills, and human interaction.
So the robots handle the heavy lifting, the dangerous tasks, the repetitive work, while the humans bring their unique skills and abilities to the table, collaborating with the robots to achieve greater efficiency and productivity.
Precisely. And that's a model that could be applied to many other industries as well. It's about finding the right balance, leveraging the strengths of both humans and machines to create a more efficient, productive, and fulfilling workplace.
But even if robots don't completely replace humans,
Mm.
won't they still lead to job losses in certain sectors?
Well,
If a machine can do the work of 10 people, what happens to those 10 people?
that's a possibility, and it's why it's so important to have a conversation about the future of work, to think about how we can adapt to these changes and ensure that everyone has the opportunity to thrive in this evolving technological landscape.
So retraining programs, educational opportunities, and safety nets for those who are displaced.
Right.
We need to prepare for the possibility of job displacement and ensure that workers have the support they need to adapt and succeed in this new world.
Absolutely. We can't just ignore the potential impact of automation. We need to be proactive in addressing these challenges and creating a more equitable and inclusive future. A future where the benefits of AI are shared by everyone, not just a select few.
It's a reminder that technology is not just about gadgets and algorithms, it's about people.
Yeah.
And we need to ensure that these advancements benefit all of humanity.
I couldn't have said it better myself.
So after this deep dive into Palladyne,
Hmm.
what stands out to you? What are the key takeaways?
Well, their story is a testament to the power of innovation, the
Mhm.
importance of adaptability, and the need to approach AI and robotics with a human-centered perspective. They're pushing the boundaries of what's possible, forcing us to confront the ethical and societal implications of these technologies, and inviting us to join them on this journey into a future where AI plays an increasingly central role in our lives.
It's been an incredible journey exploring their evolution from a hardware company to a software powerhouse, navigating the complexities of the financial markets, delving into the ethical and societal implications of their technology, and getting a glimpse of the future they're trying to create.
And while they face challenges, their unwavering commitment to pushing the boundaries of what's possible is truly inspiring.
Palladyne believes they're at the forefront of the fourth industrial revolution. Their vision is to create robots that work alongside humans, combining human intelligence with machine strength.
Imagine a world where robots handle dangerous or repetitive tasks, allowing humans to focus on more creative and fulfilling work.
Mhm.
It's a vision that offers hope for a future where technology enhances our lives, not diminishes them.
Palladyne's goal is to enhance human capabilities, not replace them. What implications does this have for the future of work and society as a whole? It's a question that we'll continue to grapple with as AIs, robotics continue to evolve.
It certainly is.
It's a question that's worth pondering. Keep those gears turning, and we'll see you on our next deep dive.